What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Recently I made a video about what you could buy for the pre-patch that might go up in value, and I completely forgot about inscription. I'm not sure how that happened, but we're here to rectify that today. A new profession is coming and presumably we'll be able to train that at profession trainers in the pre-patch. A lot of people will be going 1 to 375 for sure. So yeah, let's look at the materials you need, find the bottlenecks, and then identify the top choices for items to invest in. So, when we're gonna level inscription, this is a little different from most other professions. You don't need any specific herbs. It doesn't really matter which herb you buy. You need herbs from a group of herbs that all mill into the same pigment. So there's 8 different pigment types that you need to go through. So how we're gonna figure out what the best ones are? We're going to look at essentially, the cheapest herb for each pigment type. And then we're also going to look at the total quantity of herbs available for that pigment type. Because what we can expect to happen is that a lot of people will be leveling inscription at the same time. And for inscription, it doesn't really matter. There's some difference. There's a couple of herbs that have slightly higher drop rates for pigments in each tier. For instance, for the cheapest ones, the Earth Bloom has a higher drop rate than Silverleaf and Peace Bloom. And then there's similar effects like Mountain Silver Sage, Plague Bloom, and Ice Cap have slightly higher drop rates than Golden Sandsem and Dreamfoil, and they're in the same group as well. But outside of that, you don't really care. You just want the cheapest, which means you'll buy whatever the cheapest is for each pigment type, and drive up the price of the cheapest ones and until they're all at roughly the same level. That's what we can expect. So it's very, very interesting to buy the cheapest ones if they are relatively rare compared to how many people need, and we're interested in the total volume. How quickly will the auction house dry out completely for herbs for this specific pigment type? Is that going to drive up the price on all of them? Now, this video is also brought to you by ELX and Esports Nutrition, which I'm partnered with. You can find a link in the description if you're interested in getting some great energy drink, perfect taste, no sugar. I love this, particularly the lemon lime blast flavor. That's my favorite so far. I'd suggest getting that if you're a fan of citrus fruit like I am. So here we have all of the data that I went through for all of these. So you have, these are the different pigments down here, all 6 of them, or 7 if we include TBC, and then you have the herbs that mill into. And you don't need that many herbs overall. The hardest ones to get, golden and emerald. These are the best ones because they require the largest number of pigments. There's also some rare pigments needed because you get both or uncommon quality. But I'm assuming that you'll get enough from just doing this quantity. It's possible you might have to do a little bit more. It isn't going to change the analysis too much. So what stood out really was golden, where there's very few herbs overall, and you need 240. And then emerald, where where there's a lot more available, but most of it is goldthorn, which is more expensive than the others. Of course, the Khadgar's Whisker and Fade Leaf would just be bought out instantly if the price was like this. But that's also what we see down in the total analysis here. Golden and emerald, the cheapest herb, there's available less than what one person needs to level inscription. And for golden emerald, there's enough herbs on my realm for 4 people to level inscription, and that's it. So golden, that's Wild Steel Bloom, Grave Moss, King's Blood, Life Root. These are great, at least on my realm. Emerald pigment also looking pretty good. Fade Leaf, Goldthorn, Winter's Bite, and Khadgar's Whisker. But for most of these, you should particularly be looking at the cheapest herb in each bucket. So for the ones that turn into silvery, Dreamfoil is looking pretty nice here. For violent pigments, of course, we'd be looking at Blindweed, we'd be looking at Grum's Blood, we'd be looking at Sungrass. These are the ones you want to buy. So you probably have to take a look at this on your own realm. But what I did invest in, golden pigment herbs, that's Wild Steel Bloom, Grave Moss, King's Blood, Life Root, and Emerald pigment. Those are the top 2, but all of them are relatively low, the available number of herbs. It does depend a little bit on how many people are leveling inscription. We don't really know. It's not a best in slot profession, so no one's going to get it on their main, I don't think, but it's a fantastic profession to have in your alts. Now, one thing I wish I had that it doesn't exist in retail, we have historical pricing data with the Undermine Journal. But the only online source for Classic is Nexus Hub, and they only have 90 days. So I really wanted to take a look at what happened to materials needed for jewel crafting with the TBC pre-patch. If I'd had that, we could have taken a look and figured out what sort of effects we saw then. Anything can happen. People might be stocking up already. Prices don't really increase because people who are planning to level inscription are already buying herbs right now. Or the price increases or price decreases because tons of people start dumping materials. Honestly, it's impossible to tell exactly what's going to happen, but I would consider buying a good chunk. Just use the shopping list that's in the video description as well, and you have the correct quantity or the amount of each herb type that players need to level inscription, and you can buy anywhere from 1 to 10 leveling sets or worth of leveling a full 1 to 375, and you'll probably won't be losing much gold, if any. If things go wrong, you can probably sell for roughly the price you bought at. So yeah, now we covered inscription as well. That was the last one. Good luck. Let me know what you're planning to buy, if anything, for the pre-patch. Good luck, and we'll see you in the next video.